Good morning, all. Welcome to Sonia Talks. Today is Sunday, so we continue our study of Agamas. Here with me is Saranya and Kashvi. Welcome both. Good morning. So before we dive into our sutra discussion for today, let's have our Sonia red bell practice. Reverse countdown from 9 to 0. Chinese Agamas translations are done by Kumar Jiva and then done by Dr. Lim in English under the guidance of him. We are doing Hindi translations, and both of the Saranya and Kashmir are part of Shiv Sutra Translations Department, and we are doing and taking guidance of Dr. Rajesh Savira, who is director and psychotherapist also. Let's begin our sutra study for today. We can pull up the slides. Yeah.
Āgamas as it is, Ekotara Āgamas. Ekotara Āgamas, Volume 27, Chapter 25, Mithya Parishada, the wrong assemblies. Translated into Chinese by Gautama Sangadeva, Tripitaka Acharya of Kapisha, Eastern Jin Dynasty. Translated from Chinese to English by Shiv Sutra Translation Department and under the guidance of Dhanacharya Nagativa, that is Dr. Winslow. EA 35.1. Thus have I heard. At one time, the Buddha was staying in Sravasti at Jatavana in Anathapindita's ashrama. At that time, the Bhagavan addressed the bhikshus, saying, if someone is among the assembly of Mithya Drishti, what lakshana do they have? What are their distinguishing lakshana? Then the bhikshu said to the Bhagavan, the Tathagata is the Raja of Dharma, the supreme among all teachings. It is excellent. O Bhagavan, please explain this meaning to the bhikshus. Having heard it, we shall follow it with joy. The Bhagavan said, you should carefully contemplate this. I shall now explain the meaning to you in detail. The bhikshus replied, so it is Bhagavan. At that time, the bhikshu received the Buddha's instruction. The Bhagavan said, a person who dwells in Mithya Parishada can be recognized by 5 things. By observing these 5 things, you can know that this person resides in a Mithya Parishada. What are the 5? They do not smile when they should smile. They do not rejoice when they should rejoice. They do not give rise to a chitta of karuna when they should do so. They commit akushala karma without feeling shame. And they hear kushala but do not take them to heart. Know that such a person surely dwells in a Mithya Parishada. If any sattva resides in a Mithya Parishada, they can be identified by these 5 lakshanas. Furthermore, if there are sattva who dwell in a Samyak Parishada, what are their lakshanas? What are the causes and conditions for this? At that time, the bhikshu said to the Buddha, the Tathagata is the Raja of Dharma, the supreme among all teachings. We sincerely request the Bhagavan to explain this meaning to the bhikshus. Having heard it, we shall follow it with joy. The Bhagavan said, you should carefully contemplate this. I shall shall now explain the meaning to you in detail. The bhikshus replied, so it is Bhagavan. At that time, the bhikshus received the Buddha's instruction. The Bhagavan said, a person who dwells in a Samyak Parishada can be recognized by 5 things. By observing these 5 things, one can know that this person dwells in the right assembly. What are the 5? They smile when they should smile. They rejoice when they should rejoice. They give rise to a chitta of karuna when they should do so. They feel shame when shame is appropriate, and they hear virtuous words and take them to heart. Know that such a person has surely entered the Samyak Sangha. Therefore, Bhikshu, you should disassociate from wrong assemblies and dwell in right assemblies. Thus, Bhikshus, you should train yourself in this way. When the Bhikshus heard the Buddha's word, they followed it with joy.
Wow, what a beautiful sutra here. This is a very short but profound sutra. Uh, we get to know the difference between the person influenced by the wrong assembly, Mithya Parishad, and one established in right assembly, meaning the Samyak Parishad. So here Buddha is staying in Jetwana Shravasti here, and these two bhikshus are asking the question that how can we recognize someone dwelling in wrong and right assembly? Here we can see the emotions and the ethics and the behavior patterns are most important here. And Buddha is talking and giving emphasis here on the characteristics and than the beliefs only. When we go to the wrong assembly slide and there the qualities are described here. In wrong assembly, the bhikshus are not smiling when it's appropriate to smile. They are not rejoicing when it's appropriate, and they are not generating the compassion, the karuna, when the compassion is needed. And fourth one is they don't have hiri, shape in wrongdoing, and then they hear good advice but pays no attention to it. These 5 signs are, emotional, and they are ethical rather than, if we say, philosophical. Then here, wrong association is appearing and bringing the dull nature also, we can see. But in surrounding and among us also, around us also, kindness may get difficult sometimes, and we dwell in a group, and sometimes there is lack of emotional response also, which is affecting you also, and that is pretty normal, and these things are happening. These are not just ancient teachings, but these are the behavior patterns which are persistent till now. Now, here the solution we get, how to switch this negativity and to switch on the compassionate mode. Because here main thing is that even though nobody is seeing you, are you having or feeling shame when doing anything wrong? Here, Buddha is emphasizing on this shame not to be, self-criticism, but in a healthy way. But it's not talking about the toxic guilt here, but healthy moral, conscience one can have for our own. Uh, when they are talking about ignoring the good advice and not paying attention to it, what it actually means, because we hear many things, it is applicable to me also. But hearing wisdom is one thing, but being transformed within you by that own wisdom is another. And it's totally different because we are consuming lots of teachings here. Sutra talks is there. A mentor tells us to do a number of things. Books are there, podcasts are there, spiritual content is there. Everything is available. But are we applying it? It's the main question. Because application is harder than understanding and knowing. And many a times people are prevented from applying this teaching and acting upon the advice we have got, me included. But this is the information overload, which is making, and when we are going and diving into AI world now, information will be very much at your hands, tips of your fingers. But the wisdom and acting upon it is also becoming very scarce. Then Sutra is driving us into the right assembly. If we can go to that slide. Here they are saying the smile when it's appropriate, it rejoices when it's appropriate, it's cultivate compassion, karuna when it's appropriate, and feel shame regarding wrongdoing. And fifth one is taking that wholesome teaching seriously. Now here Buddha is presenting the natural responses, and the growth is not the emotional suppression. That's the main thing. Many times we see we need to follow certain things, then we suppress our emotion. No, no, no. Here, healthy community is forming because it is nurturing the positive environment and positive emotional intelligence, appreciating when it's necessary, smiling. These are the things. Now, when we are talking about, developing good community in the face of wars that is happening, these five things will be very much necessary, which will encourage the compassion and let that be contagious rather than greed and everything glitty glossary out there. Let the compassion be contagious and kindness be contagious. And as we have discussed in Hindi Sutra today, dana of following the Panchashil, practicing the Panchashil is the greatest dana one can give. And this will also become a very strong pillar of personality development, and our friend circle will get affected with this nature, and then in the society in turn, and then large countries, communities, etc. That goes on and on. Because we are gradually becoming like the people we spend time with. So choosing the right association is the great thing, and it influences in a number of ways you will not be even aware about. So this is my understanding. You can have you can place your understanding also here, but the key takeaway, which is very practical, Buddha is telling here that identifying the quality of the persons, uh, generally it gets influences by the observing their responses to the goodness. And if we are in wrong association, then it weakens the joy, compassion, conscience. And if we are equipped with the right association, then it will strengthen and it will give the strength of joy, compassion, and the sensitivity and ethical nature of it. So that's what the pillar of having. If we are joyful, if we are the being more compassionate, more considerate, and ethical sensitivity is also developing in ourselves, then we can say we are in right association. This is the parameter we can take away from this sutra. This is my understanding totally. Saranya and Kashmi, you can present yours also.
Yeah, actually, already Indian philosophy already said that what is the importance of satsanga. So this is the satsanga. Actually, we have with the good people. Good people means actually we have to be. We don't have to lose our personality or character for someone else. So be ourselves always. So because Dr. Lim always said that there is two kinds of school is there, monkey minded and donkey minded. So when we practice too much samatha, so we can come to a stage like there is emotionless and like that we are not responding to anything like so not reacting phase. We came to a stage there. But when too much vipassana is there, then we are overacted. Everything is overactivated, and we have to do more things. More efforts will be there. So it should be in the balance mode. That is the beauty of Shunya, I think. Why? Because I have some experiences like when some people think that when we will be spiritual means We have always like in the meditation mode, don't dance, don't sing, no any other activities. We just doing that, like no other activities, no enjoyment like that. But we actually, what is the point is, if there is a situation when occasion is there we have to dance, then we have to do that activity. If we have to sing, so we can sing there, we can smile. So everything is naturally happen. That is the beauty of Shunya, because in the Shunya also we only practice, we observe the natural breathing, right? We are not forcing anything. It's only happen to the natural. Then only we can get the actual. We already mentioned that we when we have to suppress anything, it will it will one day it will close, it will destroy everything. There's a suppressed emotions, naturally it will. But when we naturally understand that, we have that awareness that, oh, this is happening, then automatically we will become very calm and peaceful. So the satsanga, that is very important. I think we are all blessed because we already with the good people, because one a good organization for us. So surely we can have. So now we can smile. If we have any emotions that we have said, then we can cry. There is no limitation that you don't express your feelings like that. There is no limitation like that. So it's very important to be with the right people. Yeah,
Very
that's my
rightly said,
yes.
and main thing which we have examples of Dr. Lim and Dr. Rajaswara in front of us.
Yes.
We are seeing not only the professional work they are doing, we are seeing them as a total persona. And when we are reading this sutra, we can map it out. We can see implementally, they are implementing it practically. They are not, when it comes to having goal orientation, spirituality, and everything, we put the labels, or if we don't put the labels, people tend to see you in certain way.
Yes.
So that becomes like, okay, when it comes to separation and not enjoying the stuff, we are not seeing that, okay, they are not, binding us in that particular box. But they are saying, with their, of course, their example, smile when it's appropriate to smile, be compassionate, be kind at the appropriate times, be strong also in taking decisions when it is required to do so. So that is the teachings we can take, and this sutra is mapping out exactly the same thing. Yeah. Kashmi, you want to say something?
Yeah, so we have the same thing, that whatever our environment will be, we'll become the same. That thing we are listening from our childhood, that whatever our community will be, our environment and our habits will be like that. So whatever our environment is will decide our belongings and decide our nature. So we should be very careful related to this time, to this age, because everyone is getting attracted to anything, just distracted and attached to dukh, and just get attached to suffering easily. That's where we need to understand the Buddha's teaching here. So this sutra is very beautiful to understand that, and yeah, it will help us to implement the thing in daily life as well.
See, when we are talking about environment, we three are in different locations, but we are connected here with the sutra and Sunday talks and the work we are doing together. Also, it's mostly the most important factor is where we are dwelling in our mind. We can train ourselves that, okay, this is the teaching, but implementation is the main thing which they are talking about here. Hearing but not paying attention is what? Hearing, but we need to implement, and we don't need to bombard ourselves that we will be doing all the n number of things we are hearing. Okay, just one for a day, that's enough. That's how we can be compassionate with our own self also. Yeah. So time is up for today. Thank you all for joining. We will be continuing our Sutra Talks. Vimal Kirtin is the Sutra Talks. I'm excited to know and unfold it. Also, as a part of Soul, today the inauguration and the first ever master class for Pali and Dhammapada which I'm happy to lead, is happening at 12:30. Also, we have Shangalun, which is Dr. Lim and Dr. Rajesh Savira's initiative to introduce the Chinese traditional medicines in our daily lives, will be happening at 11 a.m. So stay tuned. Till then, take care. Bye bye.